Good afternoon, dear colleagues. I'd like to ask you to please take to your seats so that we could start with the energy sessions. I am the Director General, Konstantin Simonov, of the General National Energy Safety Foundation from Moscow. Now, prior to giving the floor to the first speaker, I'd like to make a very quick introduction. And if we want to find a way out from that political crisis affecting the relations between Russia and the Western world, it is quite clear that we have to find economic contact points, and we have to find new economic projects and energy projects at the basis of which stands our cooperation, mutual cooperation. And one of the hypotheses for which there is such a rigid climate with the United States is due to the fact that we are not having that many trading activities with the United States. It's not a secret that before the political crisis, the trading exchanges between USA and Russia was very small, less than what we had with the European countries. So there is an interest in keeping good relations with Russia. With Europe, the situation is very different. We see how not simple is the situation. We know how serious is the role played by Russia in the European market. We've heard what Seiche said. Only Rosneft alone controls 20% of the supplies of oil in the European market, and Lukoil accounts for some 10%. Then Gazprom controls 42% of the imports, European imports of gas. And from this point of view, we do fully realize that this is a long story in the story of relations. So we hope that this is going to go some further and go ahead. Today we heard Andrei Brobovsky asking questions, and he said that the Europeans are very worried because of the possibility of using supplies as a political pressure tools. But we've been trading with Europe for 10 years, for decades, and next year it will be 50 years ever since the first supply of Russian gas to Austria. More than 50 years that we've been having trading transactions, commercial transactions with Europe. That's a serious thing. I believe that we have proven that we are a reliable partner. In the year 2009, and this is an interesting case, I would like to touch upon this once more later on. I'd like to say that this is something highly significant. We've never threatened Europe of discontinuing our supply contracts or breaching the contracts of our supplies to Europe. Last November, there was a tragic episode, and the relations grew worse and worse. But notwithstanding all that, commercial measures and actions were taken, but none of them was affecting our energy agreements, or oil agreements, or gas agreements. All of the contracts were honored. Maybe there were some judicial legal cases as far as prices, but all of the obligations were met. And I believe that it was exactly thanks to this that we could normalize, rapidly normalize the public political relations with Turkey. And that was also because of our authority. We have four interesting speakers. Two are coming from the European Union, two are from Russia. I would like to hear them. They have some slides to project, and then after that we will allow for some question and answers. Now, the first one to speak is going to be the president of the Board of Management of Novatek, Michelson. And he is one of the major gas producers, private producers in Russia. And next year, there's going to be another project known as Yamal for natural liquefied gas. And then going back to the marine transportation and terrestrial transportation or ground transportation, we know that there was another project known as the Nord Stream project. And Michelson, who seems to be a Euro-Asian himself, notwithstanding himself, I'd like to hear what you have to say.